Summer is over as the Maple Leafs are back at training camp to get ready for the season. Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the Leafs. Rob Wong, joined alongside by Toronto Sun Maple Leafs writer Lance Hornby. And Lance, it was a busy offseason for the Maple Leafs. Lots of personnel moves on and off the ice. But as training camp gets set to begin this week, which of the new faces are you most interested to see?
Well, Brad Treliving was quite adamant that he's tried to rebuild the defense to a degree, and let's face it, it gets talked about more than Toronto traffic and never seems to get fixed. But we'll have to see now if he's made the right move in that department. Certainly, he's got the cup pedigree there in Oliver Ekman Larson, a player who's made contributions, into his deep into his career now. You certainly have Chris Tanev, who's a guy that Treliving's eyed for a long time, going back to his days in Western Canada, and who doesn't like a defenseman with bite on this team? That's been lacking. Certainly, the Leafs have added it at playoff time, but I don't think, other than adding Jake Muzzin a few years ago, they've never really had one to have a presence during the regular season itself. And of course, out in a limb a little bit with Yanni Hakanpää, if he's going to be strong enough to, his knee is going to last. Probably not going to start the year, but adding a 6'7" guy who can kill penalties is certainly going to be a big boon for the Leafs if they can work him in a little bit as the season goes on. So that's some pretty good additions there. Up front, curious to see what Max Pacioretty does. It makes sense that Treliving says, here's a guy who hasn't had a really good summer in terms of training. He's been rehabbing mostly, and at his age, rehabbing and training are two different things, and the Leafs and Treliving really hope that he's been able to put the summer to really good use and be someone who can, still contribute. Maybe not 30 goals like he has in his heyday, but certainly around 20. And the ankle's holding up thus far, and he really changes that dynamic on left wing, especially if, let's say, Steven Lorentz, if we're talking about new guys, passes his PTO and makes a splash with the Leafs in that regard. And then, of course, in goal, big move with Anthony Stolarz, again another guy coming off a cup with the Florida Panthers, good enough in my opinion to be a number one. He's sort of been, he wants to prove to the world he's something better than Sergei Bobrovsky's backup. If Joseph Woll can stay healthy, it's going to be a heck of a battle. And as Stolarz told us at the introductory golf tournament yesterday, at worst, he's going to push Joseph Woll to be better. And who knows if Matt Murray is going to fit in there as well.
Yeah, so it is interesting when it comes to the goaltending position because, as you said, Stolarz was one of the better backups in the NHL last season. Joseph Woll has had trouble staying healthy. Presumably, he is the projected number one, is Joseph Woll, but do you think this is potentially more of an open competition than maybe some are led to believe?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, let's face it, Craig Berube's not married to either one, and just coming in as the new coach, and I think he's going to give them both as much time as he can. I mean, there's not really anyone pressing from behind yet. You like Dennis Hill to be certainly maybe a couple of years down the road. You saw what Joseph Woll can do when he's healthy. That's the main thing, keeping him healthy. Although the word last year was a couple of freak injuries versus something that Woll is doing very incorrectly in training. But Stolarz, I like his. I like just the way he comports himself. He's been there. He's certainly won. I mean, he didn't play any playoff time, maybe except some mop up roles. But I think he's highly motivated to prove he can do more, and especially in a big market like this. A big guy, a veteran guy, and if the Leafs ever get around to getting back to my first point, to playing some decent defense in front of them, that's only going to help them.
Now, compared to last year's training camp, there is a lot more depth up front, as you mentioned, with the likes of Max Pacioretty and, of course, Nick Robertson getting re-signed. He is now in the mix, trying to fight for a spot. So what do you think that means for the likes of Fraser Minten, who did make this team out of camp last year, and Easton Cowan, who once again impresses at the Prospects game there against Montreal?
Well, a bit of a word of caution with Minten. I mean, everybody got excited last year. Certainly he deserved to make the team. In retrospect, probably the Leafs might want to have have taken that back because I believe it was Lafferty they lost off waivers and then wound up not keeping Minten. But we'll have to see, of course, in the next couple of days how that leg injury he had at the rookie tournament in Montreal turns out. But Easton Cowan has just been dominating at the junior level. A really composed kid. He's not, he's winning a lot of friends in that dressing room already, and he's certainly skill wise. Again, not the funny thing is, he's kind of the Kyle Dubas type player in terms of a small, skilled guy. But it was under Treliving's watch that he drafted him, and the Leafs have to be very happy about what he's done, how he's looked, and he's quietly ready to make that next jump. Whether or not the cap prevents it, whether or not they were a little scared off by what happened with Minten last year remains to be seen. But certainly if he certainly hasn't lost a beat at that rookie tournament. So it's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks of training camp, and to see what Cowan does in the exhibition games.
Lots of interesting storylines heading into training camp. As always, let us know what you think in the comments section below. For Lance Hornby, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.